Hello everyone. Let me just get my camera running, I hope. So, hello, my name is Martin and I'm going to talk to you about what you can do with your data more than building things from it. So, we're going to talk about visualization and about digital twin. So, the goal with this things that we're going to talk about today is to get your data to be more valuable, to be used for more things than just construction, the actual machinery or whatever your construction purpose is. And the data that you're creating is usually very good. You do really nice 3D models in Inventor or any other tool, and they're being used to make drawings, but we can use them to so much more. And that's what we're going to look a little bit into today. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is a digital twin. The digital twin for many people is something that happens after the product is built, where you take your physical machine and you connect it with sensors and stuff like that to make the machine a little bit smarter to work with. And we have this little list of different levels of digital twins. This is, of course, different from person to person and company to company. And also within Symetri, we got some different ideas about this because it depends so much on the product, how you look at this. But most of this level or all of these levels are actually in the afterlife, like when it's built. So you can connect it to sensors, you can have it become smarter to be able to foresee maintenance needs and stuff like that, which are all very, very good, but it's not really using your nice data in the beginning, at least. So what we're going to talk about today is a product called Perspective, which is a tool that is meant to be used before you start building to test your product virtually with a digital twin before it's built. The data we have is usually detailed enough to do actual physical tests on it. We can take it into a software, and in this case we're using Unity as the base engine, and then Perspective is a plugin. But we will populate the model with physics, weights, different materials behave differently. We have all the physical forces we can apply to this model. We can also set up that this is a stepper engine. It drives this belt, and when you put things on the belt, they will follow along. So you can actually test your product in a virtual environment before you start building it to make sure that it does what you want it to do. You can show it to your customers so it does what the customer wants it to do. And you can also a little bit check that it actually works, that your ideas and your thinking is correct. We can also hook up all kinds of control softwares to this. So if we have a Siemens controller for the conveyor belt, we can hook that up to the computer and have that run the actual simulation. And that will make it possible to start testing different speed setups, timing with other belts or robots or whatnot. So I'm going to show you a little video on how it could look when you're doing this, so you can see a little bit more about it. So let me see here. Here we go.
Envision your system running in real time in a highly detailed 3D environment well before actual production starts. A digital twin of your system with precise product flows using accurate engineering models. A simulation that gives you full control over your development. With Perspective, you can. Perspective enables you to create an accurate digital twin of your system, providing an extensive library of assets, Perspective allows you to simply drag and drop equipment directly into your factory. Our intuitive software gives you control over your setup. Using the power of the Unity real-time 3D engine, we offer great flexibility. Reach common ground between stakeholders, align your design team, and quickly show the impact of changes. Perspective is a great addition to your design process, empowering your team with information about their decisions. Our software is capable of faster than real-time speeds. With Perspective, you'll have the tools to calculate throughput and identify bottlenecks in your process. Perspective enables you to design, test, and refine with precision. Easily share digital twins within your company and with clients. Create high-end marketing output directly from our software. With Perspective, you are in control of your development. Try Perspective today and reach out to us for more information. Perspective, digital twin software.
So that was a quick video of how it could look when you have set up all your different products and parts of your machinery, or your, in this case, it was probably not machinery, it was more like a factory line, but still you can take in your data and you can test it before you start building, because the sooner you can find a problem with your data or your models or your IDs, the cheaper and easier it is to fix it. This is quite simple. And to do the next step that we're going to talk about now is the actual visualization part of it. Not all digital twins have a visual aspect to it. Some of the digital twins are just numbers and Excel sheets and boring, but we can do pretty nice things which makes them easier to use and easier to understand. So we're going to talk about XR, and XR is the collection word for all the different types of visualization that we're doing. So it's virtual reality and it's augmented reality, and those are kind of floating together now because the headsets can do both. Many of the headsets can do both, good and bad, but there is, to some of the VR headsets, they also have an augmented reality function at the moment. So one of the questions that I get quite often is what do we need to do XR? What do we need to buy? How do we get started? We're going to run through a little bit of that right now. So first of all, you're going to need your data, and you already do this. You have your Inventor models. You maybe have a Navisworks scene where you collect data in, which means that you have good data that we can look at. The same data that we can use in Perspective to make the digital twin, we can use to make visualizations. We need some kind of software that can do this, because most design softwares like Inventor cannot do it built in. So we need to take it out and we need to take it into a software that can handle the virtual reality and the real time and the materials and what you want to do with it. There is also quite a few of these available. The ones we usually look at is VRED. VRED is a tool that was in the beginning made to do car evaluations, like design evaluations, but it's really good at handling large data sets. So it can be used to other things too, but you can also make your models look really, really good quite easily. We also have game engines that we use. Unity and Unreal we use quite often, daily more or less, to bring in data to be able to walk around in the virtual environment, for example, or add behaviors. When we don't just want to look at it, we want to have some kind of behavior to it. Like the digital twin with Perspective, we do that in Unity, for example. But we also need hardware, and that's where it's getting really tricky because there's quite a lot to choose from. So if we start with virtual reality, where you want to shut out the real world and only see a virtual world. This is the standard, I would say. This is a HTC Vive. It's a really good headset. It's got hand controllers, but it's tethered. So it means that it's connected to a computer somewhere, and there's a cable. This is a bit annoying to some people, but most of our designs and our models don't fit in a standalone headset. So it's just not powerful enough. So that's why we need a computer to do the actual heavy lifting. This system, the Vive system, also have lighthouses. It's the black little boxes in the corners there, and it's the tracker system that keeps track of where the headset and the controllers are, so you get the right view when you're moving around. This is also a bit annoying, but it gives you very good tracking. So it's a little bit, there is inside-out tracking on some of the headset, which means that they keep the tracking, they do the tracking themselves, the headsets, but then your hands may not work behind your back, and you might cover the view, so the tracking fails and so on. So these external tracker systems are really fail-safe and really good. And then we have other headsets which are also tethered. This is the latest Vario. It was actually released 2 days ago, the XR4. This is a quite expensive headset, but the visual quality is unbelievable. It does also do see-through, which is then like augmented reality. It's got cameras in the front, and the visual quality of that is supposed to be really good. I haven't actually tried it yet because it was released the day after yesterday. But I'm going to test it next week. So this is a super high-end headset if you want to look at really, really nice visuals. So if you got the need to show amazing stuff, then this is the headset for you. Also obviously connected to the computer, because the models and the computing power needed to create these amazing visuals need a really good graphic card. And then we have the standalone headsets. So this is a Quest or Meta 3 from Meta, and it's a super nice headset. It's fairly cheap, but again, it's standalone, so it cannot handle huge amounts of data. You will most of the times still need a cable to connect to the computer, and the compressing of the video in the cable makes the visuals not always look perfect. But it's a really good starting point because it's very cheap and simple, very easy to travel with. And then we have a newcomer. So this is the Apple Vision Pro. It's not released yet. I haven't been able to test it yet. But this is kind of a mix because it's a standalone headset, but it's got a cable and a little box. So it's actually powerful like a Apple laptop, a MacBook Pro or something like that. So it's got a built-in computer kind of. So this is going to be really interesting to see how powerful it is. Can it do the type of virtual and augmented reality that we need to look at our data? So it's going to be really interesting once this is available. It's also not very cheap because it's got a built-in laptop. So you're kind of paying for a laptop. It's not just a headset. So people get really scared when they see the price of this, but it's actually a full working computer. It's not just a headset. So that's why maybe it's acceptable. And if we're talking about more pure augmented reality solutions, the normal, I would say, is the iPads. We use iPads or tablets to do augmented reality on trade shows and stuff like that, and it works great. You don't have to put something on your head that someone else already had. It won't mess with your hair and so on. So iPads are super nice. Again, performance, they can't handle super large objects, but there are ways to work around this with streaming and stuff like that. So pretty cool. And if we're talking about real augmented reality headsets like this is the HoloLens from Microsoft. It's getting old now, and as far as we know, there's no number 3 coming, but it's super good at some things, but quite expensive and a bit tricky to work with. So we're waiting for a better one. But there are other ways to look at your data. So we have another product called our visualization table, which is really good to show like factories or offices, where it's very easy to walk around. I'm going to show you a video of it because it's impossible to explain this with words. But you take your 3D model and you add it into a tool, and then you're walking around on a drawing that's being displayed on a TV, basically. So here's the video. So you can see that he's moving around the camera. The little marker on the table is actually controlling the camera. That is, so you, depending on what you want to look at, he puts it at different places on the drawing. He can also interact with the model by putting on different markers. This one starts the video. The second one turns on the lights. So you can very easily understand how to interact with the model. This is super powerful if you have customers who you want to show things without having to put them in a headset, because there might, if there's a group of people, for example, this is very powerful. Or if you have, in trade shows, people don't want to look strange in a headset. This is a very good way to show off your models without having the actual headset on. So that was all from me, quick and easy. But if you got any questions, please put them in the question box and we'll make sure to answer them. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.